With the wedding behind us, things at MonteCima Ranch finally started to slow down a little. For months, everything had been about getting ready for the one big special day. And suddenly we could look around again and notice all the little things happening around us. The dogs finally had their field back. Spring was in full swing and everything was growing, including a few things in places we weren't exactly expecting. Apparently, someone decided the Gator was a perfect place to raise a family. Look at that cute little bird hiding in there. And seeing the scrub jay at this little bird feeder always makes me smile. This feeder belonged to my mom. It's such a simple thing, but I love that something of hers is still here, being used and becoming part of life here at the ranch. The garden was really starting to fill in by now. Our vegetables were growing, we were planning on putting irrigation, and little by little we were learning what this land needed from us. And then we found these cute, tiny little olives. When you look at the grove from a distance, these trees don't look like much yet. Some are barely 3 feet tall and hardly thicker than a stem. But they're growing, and I think there's a lesson in that. Sometimes we're so focused on what something is supposed to look like someday that we forget to appreciate what it's doing today. A tiny olive doesn't look like much. But when you remember where we started, it actually feels like it's a pretty big deal. Our beekeeper also harvested honey from the property. There's something really special about seeing something produced from the land you're working so hard to take care of. The bees are working the flowers, the garden is growing, the olives are starting to form, and the ranch is beginning to give a little something back. And then, because this is MonteCima Ranch and apparently things can't stay sentimental for too long, we found a piece of asphalt in the middle of the field. No road, no driveway, just asphalt. We have absolutely no idea how it got there. That spring, we got to work on the irrigation in the garden. This isn't necessarily the exciting part of gardening, but out here, it's probably one of the most important parts. There's just way too much to water by hand. And back at the house, I finally had a little gardening victory. Garlic! I had tried growing garlic several years before and didn't have much luck at all. This time, after all the rain we'd had, I wasn't even sure it was going to make it. Some bulbs developed nicely, while some didn't completely form at all. And I may have harvested a few way too early. But you know what? I grew garlic, and that's the thing I'm learning about gardening. Not everything has to be a perfect harvest to be a successful one. Sometimes the success is simply learning enough to try again. Next came sweet potatoes. I decided to experiment a little and start some slips in water and some in soil, just to see what happened. And eventually, there they were, little slips starting to grow. I think this has to become one of my favorite parts of gardening. I'm giving myself permission not to know everything. Try it, watch it, learn from it. If it doesn't work, change something and try again. Living where we do, rattlesnakes are simply part of the environment. We know this type of training isn't for everyone, but for us, we'd much rather teach our dogs to recognize the sight, sound, and smell of rattlesnake and hopefully stay away than to have their first encounter be the one that ends with a bite. This was Misha's first time going through rattlesnake avoidance training, and Kaya was here just for a refresher. Mila didn't come with us this time. By this point, she had moved back to the house with us, and as much as we wanted ranch life to work for her, it just wasn't the best fit. And sometimes that's part of figuring things out too, recognizing when something isn't working and making a change.
Got us again? Oh my goodness. So that first interaction was all her.
Oh, really?
I took a sniff, recognized it.
Good.
Now she's gonna go hear that rattle.
Oh boy. Good girl, Misha.
Gosh, from there too. She's pulling along, noticed something, went down to check out whatever it was, and all of a sudden it moved, and she went, ah!
Oh, good. Good.
As I saw her respond, I did reinforce.
Good.
And then she backed off, and she got a second reinforcement. Yeah, I don't want that again. I think it's bad news. Go ahead and call her.
Misha, come here, little girl. Misha, come here. Come here, honey. Come here, honey. Come here, good girl.
She very cautiously but intentionally went over to investigate.
Is it? I don't know where it is, sir.
That's deep. Find it again. It's at her back now. Use that nose.
Oh.
Good choice.
Good girl.
I know. I'm out of here. There's that shed skin. She saw it. Now she can smell it. Good job. Very good. Got that scent away. I'm not going that direction.
Oh, good.
Get you, sir. Now she's gonna go hear the rattle. She will get her second reinforcement there. I want to look behind you though. Or hi. Oh yeah.
What the? Good girl, Kaya. That's a good girl.
It was finally time for me to attend my San Diego Seed Company tomato class. I signed up for this months in advance and I was so excited to go. I learned so much about starting tomatoes, growing them successfully, and eventually producing on a much larger scale. I left with seeds, a cool gardening hat, lots of ideas, fertilizer, and probably even more plans for the garden than I had hoped, because apparently that's what I needed, more
This
projects.
flower cluster and giving me tomatoes, it's going, just kidding, I'm gonna grow here. I'm gonna sideline the energy, and this basically becomes a brand new tomato. So you can take that home and stick it in water and it'll root and you can plant it.
What kind is this? We don't know, do we?
I'll have to look at the database. But that's why you do that on an indeterminate pole tomato, is you want to tell the plant, hey, don't give me this
By the end of May, the weather turned gloomy again, and when I pan across this part of the property, you can really see how much we still haven't touched. 25 acres is a lot of land. There are areas we've poured our hearts into, and there are places that still look almost exactly the way they did when we started. I used to look at those unfinished areas and only see everything we still needed to do. I'm trying to look at them differently now. They're not necessarily unfinished, they're simply waiting their turn. We've learned that we can't do everything at once. A garden gets planted one seed at a time. An olive grove grows one season at a time. And apparently, a ranch gets built pretty much the same way. And after the wedding, the garden, projects, and everything else we'd had going on, we finally decided to get away for a couple of days. Nothing major, just a little road trip to Orange County and some time to rest. And I think we needed it more than we realized. There will always be another project waiting for us when we get home. There will always be weeds to pull, something to plant, something to fix, and another idea we want to bring to life. But we're also learning that building this place can't only be about getting to the finish line, because I'm not sure there really is one. This is our life happening right now, somewhere between what MonteCima Ranch was when we found it and everything we still dream it can become. And maybe that's the part we're supposed to enjoy the most.